Passion for Books. My name is Kim. Today I'm bringing you an unboxing of the used book monthly book subscription box that I get. That's a mouthful sometimes. Again, this box is, I believe, $14.99 because I chose to get 4 books each month. I am kind of on the fence of whether I want to keep the box. The first box was really good. I know I was very interested in 2 of the books that I got, but the last box is kind of not really my thing. And that's the risk that you take when you do get subscription service boxes, because you're really not choosing the books that you want. So they are kind of mysterious of what books you get. You do get to choose your genres, but you can't go in as easily as the bookcase club, where you can choose your different genres and change them when you want to. You actually have to email the company and tell them, hey, I'd rather not get this genre anymore. So you kind of have to remember which ones you chose in order to tell them to take that off. That's about the only downside that I've seen. This, again, is my 3rd month with it. So this may be my November box, because you pay for it 1 month and get the box the next month. So that's kind of up in the air which box this actually is. So again, I've just clipped the tape to make it easier for me to unbox for you guys. And again, as usual, it is not as well wrapped. I haven't gone through them yet, but they're not as good at the packing part of it. But that's okay, as long as the books aren't damaged, I'm all right. So let me So this month they actually gave me 5 books. I do not believe I was charged extra. No, it's still the $14.99. But they did give me an extra book. So let's see if it was worth the other book. Alright, so the first one, this is a Mary Higgins Clark book, and it says 3 complete novels. Weep No More, My Lady, Still Watch, and A Cry in the Night. So this looks like it's another bound copy, similar to the Jenna Black book. I believe she is a mystery writer, kind of a romance mystery writer. So I haven't read a lot of Mary Higgins Clark, but I've heard that she's a good writer. I just haven't read a ton from her. So there is this one. So again, 3 books for the price of 1. So it does give a little synopsis. So Weep No More, My Lady. A movie star plunges from her penthouse terrace to her death. Was it a crime of passion committed by her angry fiancé? Against a California background that sparkles with sun, money, and glamour, Elizabeth Lane stalks her sister's murderer. All right, so murder mystery type of writing, maybe with a little romance thrown in. So the second book, Still Watch. Broadcast journalist Pat Traymore comes to Washington to do a piece on the senator and vice presidential nominee Abigail Jennings, but also, but also to discover the truth behind her own mysterious path. Despite anonymous warnings to stay away, Pat continues her search, revealing dark secrets that threaten to end the senator's political career and Pat's life. Okay. And then the 3rd book in this bound copy, A Cry in the Night. Love at First Sight, a fairy tale marriage to the perfect man. Jenny McPartland changes her whole life for love, but once she moves her children to their new home, her dream comes true. Her dream come true becomes a nightmare. So that one actually sounds really interesting. Out of the 3, A Cry in the Night seems to be the one I would be most interested in reading out of these 3. Possibly the first one, Weep No More. So the 1st and 3rd one out of that one I would be interested in. Alright. And again, I don't know if these are, well, definitely Mary Higgins Clark's definitely adult. I'm not sure if these are all adults or YA, because it doesn't really tell you. So this is by David Hoffmeyer, Stone Writer. So this is what this guy looks like. Alright, it says, Sadie looks at Adam with her shades reflecting the light. He's sure he can see a trace of her in the angle of her shoulders, Just for a moment, and then it vanishes and she straightens. Suit yourself. She jerks her head at the gear room. Tell them what you want and they'll mark it for collection in 2 hours. Your bike will be ready same time. Adam's stomach lurches and his cheeks burn as he walks to the gear. He feels stupid, ashamed for blurting out that he rides alone. But it's too late. He said it. He has to live with it. Life would be easier if Sadie were the most beautiful girl in Blackwater, but the trouble with Sadie Blood isn't her beauty, it's her bloodline. All right, so that is interesting. So ride for hope, ride for love, ride for revenge. All right, so that is a little bit about this particular book. So it looks like an excerpt from it is what I read. All right, only Adam Stone wants freedom and peace. He wants a chance to escape Blackwater, the Dust Bowl desert town he grew up in. Most of all, he wants the beautiful Sadie Blood. Alongside Sadie and the dangerous outsider Kane, Adam will ride the Blackwater Trail in a brutal race that will test them all, body and soul. The prize, a one-way ticket to Sky Base and an unimaginable luxury. And for a chance at this new life, Adam will risk everything. In this inventive and stunning debut novel, adrenaline-fueled action blends with an improbable yet tender romance to offer a rich and vivid portrayal of misfits and loners forced together in their struggle for a better life. Okay, very good. So, possibility that I would definitely think about reading that one for sure. So this is The Wrecker by Clive Cussler and Justin Scott. So this is what this guy looks like. Alrighty. So this looks like maybe a Western type of thing. In the chase, Clive Cussler introduced an electrifying new hero, the tall, lean, no-nonsense Detective Isaac Bell, who, driven by his sense of justice, travels early 20th century America pursuing thieves and killers, and sometimes criminals much worse. It is 1907, a year of financial panic and labor unrest. Train wrecks, fires, and explosions sabotage the Southern Pacific Railroad's Cascades Express line, and desperate, the railroad hires the fabled Van Dorn Detective Agency. Van Dorn sends his best man, and Bell quickly discovers that a mysterious saboteur haunts the hobo jungles of the West, a man known as the Wrecker, who recruits accomplices from the down and out to attack the railroad and then kills them afterward. The Wrecker traverses the vast spaces of the American West as if he had wings, striking wherever he pleases, causing untold damage and loss of life, human life. Who is he? What does he want? Is he a striker, an anarchist, a revolutionary determined to displace the privileged few, a criminal mastermind engineering some as yet unexplained scheme? Whoever he is, whatever his motives, the Wrecker knows how to create maximum havoc, and Bell senses that he is far from done. That, in fact, that Wrecker is building up to a grand act unlike anything he has committed before. If Bell doesn't stop him in time, more than a railroad could be at risk. It could be the future of the entire country. Filled with intricate plotting and dazzling set pieces, The Wrecker is one of the most entertaining thrillers in years. So this one is kind of labeled as being a thriller, so we shall see if it lives up to that description. So this book is by L.T. Ryan. It's called Noble Beginnings. So this is what this guy looks like. So it's a Jack Noble thriller, so a second thriller. Okay. The first pulse-pounding, action-packed novel in the USA Today and Amazon Millions Plus copy best-selling Jack Noble thriller series. In March of 2002, while the eyes of the world focus on Afghanistan, Jack Noble finds himself on the outskirts of Baghdad, Iraq. A Marine in name only, Jack is on loan to the CIA. Normally an integral part of the team, he finds that he is nothing more than a security detail in Iraq. Jack and his partner Bear have a run-in with 4 CIA special agents over the treatment of an Iraqi family. Within hours, Jack and Bear are detained. All Jack wanted was to finish his enlistment and move on with his life. All he did was intervene and save the family from unwarranted violence at the hands of 4 CIA agents. But he soon discovers that he did far more than intervene. He has placed himself dead square in the middle of a conspiracy that reaches the highest levels of the U.S. government. So I'm not into a lot of war-based books. I'll give it a try and see if I can get into it, but it's not a typical genre that I like. But it does say it's thriller-based, so I will see how it goes. So I can't promise anything on that one. The last 2 are kind of stretching my boundaries quite a bit out of my comfort zone for sure. All right, so this book is by Louise Renenson, and it's Then He Ate My Boy Entrancers. Confessions of Georgia Nicholson. So this may be YA book maybe, and we'll see if it's something that I will be interested in reading. All right. Let the overseas snogfest begin. Georgia and Jas are off to Hamburger Go-Go Land. Georgia plans to track down Massimo, the Italian-American dreamboat, but after a long week in America, she only succeeds in learning important-ish things like how to ride a bucking bronco. Will Georgia reel in the Italian dreamboat, or is she destined to live forever all alone or on her own? Yeah, this is probably going to be the type of YA high schoolish stuff that I don't particularly care for. So it's kind of like a study abroad. She came, I'm guessing, from Britain maybe, and coming to America. So I'm not really sure about that, exactly where she's from, because it doesn't really say. But I promise that I'm not going to be interested in this. It's just a little too young sounding for me. But we'll give it a shot. I'll read maybe the first few pages to a chapter and see if it's something that would interest me. Alright, so these are actually the 5 books. Normally it's only 4, so they slipped in an extra book on me this go around, but that's okay. I'm still unsure if I'm going to keep this box. There are 2, maybe 3 potential books that I would like to possibly read out of the 5, so that's not a bad average. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Leave me some comments down below what you thought of the books that I showed you today. If you are new to my channel, please consider clicking on the subscribe button as well as clicking on the notification bell. And until my next video, I hope you have a good one. Bye!